had Reza Aslan obviously on today. He was on Fox. If you haven't watched or heard this, it's impossible to fully do it justice. So we have a clip of it. We're going to play it. He was on Fox News, foxnews.com, I think, with their religion anchor, talking about his book. And we have sound of it. So let's go play that.
Well, Reza Aslan was a Christian but converted back to the faith of his forefathers. It's Islam. He has now written a book about Jesus. The book has become controversial as it calls into question some of the core tenets of Christianity. The book is called Zealot, The Life and Times of Jesus of Nazareth. And Reza joins me now from Los Angeles. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Well, this is an interesting book. Now, I want to clarify, you're a Muslim, so why did you write a book about the founder of Christianity?
That's a terrible opening question, I'd just like to say.
Already you can see we're off to the races.
Well, to be clear, I am a scholar of religions with 4 degrees, including one in the New Testament, and fluency in Biblical Greek, who has been studying the origins of Christianity for
Muslim.
2 decades, who also just happens to be a Muslim. So it's not...
Just happens.
Oh, yeah. I don't think you ever just happen to be a Muslim. Okay there, Reza? All right, let's go back.
She did say his name wrong.
Not that I'm just some Muslim writing about Jesus. I am an expert with a PhD in the history of religions. But I have been obsessed with Jesus.
It still begs the question, why would you be interested in the founder of Christianity?
I mean, no one is ever interested in anything but exactly what they are. I mean, no one ever searches, is the religion I'm part of the one I want to be a part of even? No one ever, switches religions, or no one ever, tries anything new.
It still begs the question, if you are a sports journalist who got their start covering basketball, why would you write a book about tennis?
Yes, why?
Something Muslim is up. Let's keep playing this.
Because it's my job as an academic. I am a professor of religion, including the New Testament. That's what I do for a living, actually. So, I mean, it would be like asking a Christian why they would write a book about, Islam. I'm not sure about that. But honestly, I've been obsessed with Jesus for really 20 years. I've been studying his life and his work and the origins of Christianity, both in an academic environment and in a personal level for about 2 decades. And just to be clear, this is not some attack on Christianity. My mother is a Christian. My wife is a Christian. My brother-in-law is an evangelical.
Well, pause just for a second. She could say, well, Reza, one distinction would be is you're going to hell for following a false terrorist god. I'm going to heaven. We have a little bit more leeway in what we write about. But anyways, keep playing the clip.
Anyone who thinks that this book is an attack on Christianity has not read it yet.
I want to read you some quotes from some people who are criticizing you. One from John Dickerson, who has written an op-ed piece on foxnews.com, and he says, it's not a historian's report on Jesus. Is it an educated Muslim's opinion about Jesus? He says its conclusions are long-held Islamic claims, namely that Jesus was a zealous prophet type who didn't claim to be God.
Well, that's actually not what Islam claims about Jesus. My book about Jesus overturns pretty much everything that Islam also thinks about Jesus as well. And
I think that point was incredibly important, and I'm glad he brought that up. And I don't think she knew what the hell he was talking about.
She knew nothing, and that goes on for literally 9 minutes. We have some more of it.
To be clear, I just want to emphasize this one more time. I am a historian. I am a PhD in the history of religions. This isn't a Muslim opinion. This is an academic work of history, not about the Christ or about Christianity for that matter. It's about a historical man who walked the earth 2,000 years ago in a land that the Romans called Palestine.
But I guess the question I'm asking...
Palestine, you say?
I guess the question Palestine. Interesting use of words there. I guess what I'm wondering is, are you a Muslim? And if so, why did you write this book? Is there any more? Do we have any more of that?
Our edited clip is done, but you really need to go check out the whole thing. It's almost 10 minutes long. it gets even better.
It gets even better. And then at one point, there are two other, like at one point she reads an email saying, this book is a joke. This is like a Democrat writing a book about Reagan. And Reza Aslan goes, yes, it would be if the Democrat had a PhD and had spent 20 years, a PhD in Reagan was the phrase he used, had spent 20 years studying Reagan. And I thought it was masterful, but then alarm bells went off because I was like, oh my God. Now it's like that's the next right-wing pet project is PhDs in Reagan. So I'm terrified.
I love that they think that only a Republican can even write. Like, even if this Democrat didn't study Reagan for 20 years, why can't someone write about Reagan who isn't some right-wing?
White people and Christian people can write books about Muslims, black people, lesbians, and anybody. And Muslims
and most of them probably didn't study any of those subjects for anything close to 20.
I think that they've listened to a few
days.
Bill O'Reilly talking points memos. Sort of know what they're talking about, all right, Matt? No, it's really unbelievable. And actually, and then at one point, she also gets into this whole, like, you haven't been honest about being a Muslim. And anybody who knows Reza Aslan's work, he sort of has three portfolios. He's a religion scholar, he's a Muslim public intellectual, and a foreign policy analyst. So one of the prime identities that Reza Aslan has had in public is as a Muslim.
But even if you don't know who Reza Aslan is, which is completely fine, it's possible.
Completely fine, yeah.
In the second page of his book, he says, I'm a Muslim.
I'm Muslim. So he's like, I've said I'm a Muslim pretty much in every other tour I've done.
What makes him probably even more, with all of his studying and his work on Jesus and Christianity and religion in general, what makes him even more able to write this book, I think, is the fact that he was a Christian and converted to Islam, which means he had to have studied both tremendously before making that very important decision to convert.
And he follows it as a scholar. But again, the real big takeaway here is that this is an iteration of Islamophobic rhetoric and Islamophobic attitudes that are exemplified on the extreme end by Lynn Cheney, Frank Gaffney, all these insane neocon people. And, you know, look, Bill Maher would have Reza Aslan on and give him a great interview. But, you know, watch some of the things he says in his show about Muslims as a blanket statement. So it's a really big problem, and this is the tip of it. So anyways, watch that whole video and then buy Reza's book.